show warm all praises, glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, HaKadosh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations for the Akyam and Akwat worldwide. So, topic of this video is, this is why the wicked elites of Rothschild, Rockefeller, Morgan, Pont, Oppenheimer, this is why they want us Israelites dead, and why they hate us and persecute us. Genesis chapter 25 verse 21. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren, and Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. Okay, so our forefather, the son of Abraham, Isaac, his wife Rebekah was not conceiving a child, and then when she was pregnant and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So the one that will come out first will be as a servant to the younger people, okay, to the people that will descend from the younger one. And we know Esau came out first, so there, from the get-go, their lot is to be our servants, not the other way around as it is today. Us Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and West Indians and native Indians, today we are in the lowest ranks in all societies, and so-called white men, who are the descendants of Esau, they are up. So right now it's upside down. Okay, and when it says in the verse 22, the children struggled, it means fought against each other in the womb. They were trying to hurt each other, kill each other, because there are 2 manner of people. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, and the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So as it says in 23, one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. So Jacob, from the get-go, has been prophesied to be stronger. You know, you look at sports. Who are dominating sports? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And the other one, for right now, for the Edomites to serve us, is not activated, but it will when Yahweh Mashiach comes back. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, which was changed to Israel. And his 12 tribes are the 12 tribes of Israel, okay? 12 tribes of Jacob is the same thing. And Isaac was 60 years old when she bare him. Okay? Isaac was 60 years old. Let me go. Yeah, at this point, let me go to Apocrypha. So this is 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 7. Then answered I and said, this is Esdras speaking to the angel Uriel. What shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Okay, we are talking about the 2 worlds. You know, what will be the signs of this current world, and the next one, which is going to be totally different. The kingdom of Israel, we will have superpowers, and it will be righteous and not represent this world by any means, only that it will be here on the earth. But it will be so different from this wicked place where even the animals and trees are suffering, that it is called new heavens and new earth, according to 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 13. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of Isaac, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Okay, so Esau came first, and when Jacob came second, he was holding the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Right now we are living the end of this age with the so-called white man in rulership. They are now the end of the world. They are the wicked elites who are pulling the strings with everything. They are the ones who are wanting to make this new world order happen worldwide right now. And Jacob, who is Israel, is the beginning of it that followeth, starting from when Yahweh comes back with the angels to set up the kingdom of the Most High. So we will be ruling the world that followeth, okay, the system, the age that followeth after Babylon the Great, United States has been destroyed with nuclear missiles. Okay, and again the blessing. And Jacob, wait, let me go back to Genesis 25 to show this verse 26. And after that, when Esau was born, came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was three score years old when he bare them, Salakia. So as it says here in verse 8, 2nd Ezra chapter 6 verse 8, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob, who is Israel, is the beginning of it that followeth. This is Genesis chapter 27 verse 22. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and felt him, and he felt him and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau, because he made himself as Esau, because Isaac was planning to bless Esau with the greatest blessing. Okay, this all in the planet Earth is about Jacob and Esau. The other nations are side actors. You know, the main characters are Jacob and Esau, the two main nations. And the super elites, they know that they lost this blessing. But let me carry on. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. Yes, because Jacob and his mother Rebecca made it seem as his hands and his neck was hairy, like Esau. They said all over like a hairy garment, because Jacob wanted that blessing. And Isaac, he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother's Esau's hand. So he blessed him, and he said, art thou my very son Esau? Art thou my very son Esau? And Jacob said, I am. And he said, bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which Yahweh has blessed. So this is the blessing right now, which we have the Israelites have gotten from Isaac, who is Yahweh Shai in his prior reincarnations. After that, also he was King Solomon. But this is the blessing that will come to activation as soon as Yahweh Shai now comes back. Therefore, Yahweh give thee of the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. So we, in true reality, as it also says in Deuteronomy chapter 28, from verse 1 to 15, or to 14, that when we keep, as Israelites, when we keep the law, statutes, and commandments, that other nations are serving us, we will be over them. You know, a nation of kings and priests, as it says in Revelation 1 and 6. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. So if you look at these Edomites, starting from their wicked elite, how much they have cursed us with their bywords that they have channeled to societies, and by their actions of putting us into slavery. So now you can understand why what's happening to them is going to happen. You know, the massacre by the angels and Yahweh Shai, and slavery for them that are alive of their nations, hardcore slavery, and even them who are dead will be born into slavery. It's because they cursed us. And it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out of presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. So now Esau tried to go near Isaac to get the blessing, but the main blessing was already done away with. You know, we already got to be over the other nations. We already got the possession of all the earth, and we already got the principal blessing. So it was done away with. It was already determined, as it was already from even when anything started, but here officially, that the Edomites are our servants, and them to be our slaves, it's natural, it's original, unlike it is today, when they are over us, it is unnatural. And this is why all the earth is mourning. You know, it says in Proverbs, when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, but when the righteous are in rulership, the people rejoice. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, where is he that has taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him, yea, and he shall be blessed. So the blessing that Isaac gave our forefather Jacob, it stands, he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Isaac said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and has taken away thy blessing. Let me jump a little bit down. So Esau then is asking if Isaac only has one blessing, and Esau also is seeking to have a blessing. So in the Genesis chapter 27 verse 38, he says unto his father, Esau says, Hast thou but one blessing? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword, which is weapon, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Let me read this again. Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. This right here is the reason why the Edomites, the so-called white men, the wicked elite, and everybody who is in the know of this text right here, why they are hating us Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, West Indians, and Native American Indians. You know, Seminole Indians, all of the tribes. They hate us because of the blessing wherewith Isaac blessed our forefather Jacob. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. So Esau is already waiting for the day that their father Isaac is going to pass away, so then he can slay Jacob, just like Cain did to Abel. So it's Cain in reincarnation, but this never got to pass. No, Esau killing Jacob. But here you can see the two blessings, and let me touch this real quick when it says in verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live. You know, the so-called white man loves weapons and you know, guns and swords and violence and war. You know, that's why they live. You know, the destruction. You know, you look at First World War, Second World War, that was Edomite on Edomite, white on white violence, because they just, you know, they got to have a war. They got to play with their weapons. Okay, with sword. You know, United States of its existence only 4 years has not been at war. They are even at war right now in the Middle East and, you know, some other places. So this is the blessing of the so-called white men. They know how to handle their guns. And today the modern day sword is the nuclear missiles. And this is how the United States, Babylon the Great, will be destroyed just before the beginning of the new world, which us Israelites will be over the other nations, and they will be serving us according to the blessing that our forefather Isaac gave to Jacob, from whose 12 tribes as Israelites we descend. Okay, this is it, why the elites hate us. Shalom.